first of all. Okay, so first of all, welcome you guys. We have lots of newer coaches on, so I'm super excited. So Brittany, Emily, Rachel, I think April is even on here too. We have a lot of new coaches on, which is super awesome. A lot of our veterans are still on and pumping, pushing away, which is super awesome. So I reached out to some of our leaders and just kind of asked about, if I could go grab anybody that they wanted to listen to and learn from, who would it be and like what would they want to hear from? And so Rachel obviously like came to the top of the list. She used to be a teacher and has a little boy, Leo. He's freaking adorable. And now she's just like not a teacher anymore. She retired herself at like, what are you, like 26 or something crazy? Super young. I'm a dinosaur. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's super awesome because I always looked up to her and everything too. I look up to her, like, retiring from teaching and, just making things work. And, it's phenomenal how much her business has grown over the year, and just her consistency and just showing up in her business and moving not only her business forward, but like helping her team move forward too. So I thought that she would be like a really good person for us to listen to. So please make sure you guys have a notebook because I promise you, you're going to have like a ton of notes. She has lots of good deets in there and she is a freaking rock star. So Rach, wherever you're at, girl, whenever you're ready, take her away.
Okay, thanks. That was a really sweet introduction, Megan. I always love chatting with you guys. And this is like, so anyways, this is like my jam to get to do stuff like this because especially since, like Megan said, I recently retired. So this wasn't something that was that was able to be on my plate a couple of months ago. I just retired in June, but I love this stuff. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this being like a really, it's kind of a trying time of the year and what that means for you and your business. So last January, I still have a very baby young team, but it was just me last year. I'm saying last year's in January of 2018, so not even quite a year ago. And I had one of my highest paychecks that I've ever had this whole year included. And it was really because of commission. Now, I don't recommend building your business off of commission only, but who cares when you're getting one of the biggest paychecks you've had all year? Then the rest of the year, when I've matched that paycheck, it was because of the volume, that residual income. But it was pretty cool to not have to rely on anybody at the beginning of the year to hit my biggest paycheck, by a lot. It was over $1,000 more in 1 week than I was used to seeing. So raise your hand if you would like to have that. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how I did it and how you can do it too. Because now is we are in 2019. We were in 2019 a month ago. Everything that we're doing right now it's for 2019. You're pretty much not gonna see a shift in your business when you're doing something in the moment. So I want everyone to remember that when you put something into effect in your business, it really truly takes 3 to 6 months of consistency. You can't just do it just did it one time on today, Sunday, and waiting in 3 months to see the effect. No, you have to be doing it every day, and then it will snowball in 3 to 6 months. It's it's the same thing when we tell our clients, right? You can't just work out one time and then in 3 months you're going to have a six-pack. This is not how it works. So when I say it like that sounds ridiculous, right? But we forget that in our business all the time. So it's you showing up now, and lucky for you that 2019 January kind of speeds things along a little bit because obviously people are really looking to, New Year's resolutions is not a new thing. So last year, I think you guys probably are on the same boat. Like, I hate New Year's resolutions. I think they're totally crap. People just, it's a bullshit excuse. Sorry, but it's totally bullshit. And people are just like looking for a reason to postpone working on themselves. And I kind of talk about that in my stories, but I'm like, but of course, like, I don't say like, I think they're bullshit, but I just say like, there's no reason. I don't care if you start on January 1st or if you start on December 30th, like when you start is when I'm going to be here for you. And of course, we're going to have a bigger group in January because people are, and this is the stuff I'm saying, like people are looking for a reason to start. People are looking for it to be convenient. And January 1st, for whatever reason, society has made that the reason. And then I'm like, I don't really agree with them, but I'm obviously here for you. Let's make this a lifestyle thing and not like, I don't even know the statistics of like everybody that quits. So this is the stuff you have to be talking about now in your stories. Because if you listen to the National Wake Up Call last week with Micah, if you didn't, you should. She was talking about how people are picking their coach that they want to work with come January 1st. Now, like they're picking them out now. Whether they've told you or not, they're picking them out. So your job is going to be come December 26th, you need to be scheduling some hardcore work hours every day, like more than you're used to, because if you follow up with anybody that's shown you past interest, guess who's going to be at the forefront of their brain? So many people will purchase December 26th through the 30th. Like, have something on deck. Like, so for my team, we're going to do a 3-day refresh before Transform 20 starts. So that's going to get me a boatload of people to order between now, at least the 3-day refresh, hello volume, between now and the cutoff, so they have it in time is like December 28th. So that's going to get me those people. And then, like I said, people have told themselves for months and months and months, after Christmas, I'll start. Well, guess what? Christmas is over on December 25th. December 26th, you better be there in their inbox. And you can't just do that. You have to be on your social media now, showing everyone, talking to everybody about how you're going to be that support and how tie that into how you're being a coach, like holds you more accountable, because then more people are going to want to be a coach too. Then you're going to be the person that people think of. Like last January, I was like nothing. I don't want to say I was nothing, but I wasn't like, I'm an elite coach now, but I wasn't then. And I wasn't, by not anything, I just mean I wasn't really anybody special in the network, but I was super consistent leading up to the first and actively growing my social media and on Instagram stories every day and adding value, like tips, like you just want your social media to be value on crack right now, because the more value you give, the more people are going to want to come back to your page. And then that's when people are going to, like, it was a blur, like really from December 26th through the end of January. Like I was off from school, so I had extra time to work. But then when I went back to school, obviously like the 3rd or the 4th or whatever, like I continued that hustle because people really wanted what I was offering. And, I'm sure like Megan talks about this too, but I'm going to tell you guys like a little secret that definitely the network does not talk about it, but one of the ways that you can really capitalize on this. So just know that if you do these things, like people are going to be ready. I mean, you can't just be on your Instagram stories and then expect your inbox to flood. Like you got to do the work and show up in their inbox. Like don't forget that part of that. It's like the most important part. But if you do those things, then people will be ready. So what I want you to do is just know that if you're going to do those things, like Success Club 6 is off the table. Like, to be honest, I hate Success Club 6. Like, because people, or Success Club 5, but it ends up being 6, you know? Because then people are like, hey, I'm good, and I'll just sit there. They will, I didn't hit my biggest paycheck ever from hitting Success Club 6, I can tell you that. I like just never worry about like 3 people is not enough people. So I'm always thinking at least Success Club 10. And so just know if you're going to do these things, like you're definitely going to pull on at least 5 new people. We all agree like 5 people is not a lot. It's literally 1 hand. I have 2. So after you do that, then all of the other people that you sign up, you should sign them up if you're not 2-star in your spouse account, because then that volume is going to explode and you're going to make more because you'll cycle. So every challenge pack you get, like, let's just say they're transformed 20 packs, you get around $50-$60 per challenge pack. And if you're Emerald, that's an extra almost $15 if you put it under your spouse account. That will roll up to you and you will make more. It's more money, it's free money. And if you're Diamond, it's almost another $20 on top of it. So that's my little like tip. First 5 people, always take care of your business center first, and then really build that spouse account. That is a like life-changing decision. And just decide, you have to decide now that that's what you're going to do. Like for December too, like December Success Club is a non-negotiable. So I was just talking to one of my coaches. She in November hit one of her highest Success Club numbers, like I think Success Club like 20. And she was like, I just had an attitude adjustment almost because she's in qualifications to hit 2-star, and pretty much all of her Success Club points were because she needed to stay in qualification. Like she was basically, I mean, otherwise she would have fallen out and you have to restart. That sucks. So she was like, it's like do or die. She was like, okay, well, I'll do it. And sometimes, so I was thinking about that, and I think that with our company, it's a blessing and a curse. Success Club is not a requirement. So some people have that mentality that it's not a requirement. Nothing happens to your account if you don't hit Success Club. But something happens to your business if you don't hit Success Club. And something happens to your business if you do hit Success Club, especially if you hit Success Club consistently. I literally know this many people who have hit Success Club for a year straight, every month for a year, and have not built a substantial business. If you hit Success Club every single month for a year, you will build a substantial business. Like there's no question about it. So if you go into every single month, don't even stress about it. Just know that if you do your stuff, it will happen and you will make it happen. Then your mindset will just be different. I mean, of course you have to back up your mindset and your goals with action, but I've found that when people view Success Club as like cool, or they view it as like something they sometimes do, then it's a choice. Like then they're like, well, it's no big deal if I don't. And I guess, I mean, it just kind of depends on what your goals are, I guess. Like, but for me, when I was, started from the beginning, I was like, well, I definitely want to get all my products paid for, and I can't bank on anyone that signed up before for residual commission. So I was like, I have to find 3 new people every month, and then just snowballed from there. And now it's not even a fleeting thought. Like there will never be a month that I don't hit Success Club, because to me, it's not a choice. To me, it's a job requirement. So I gave this analogy. I was a teacher, and we started school at 8:45, which was awesome. But some days I was a special ed teacher. So some days I had, we call them IEPs in Michigan. And I had parent meetings essentially. sometimes at 7:45, which is an hour before I would typically have to be ready for work or ready to go. And so that would require me like getting up way earlier to get my workout in. I mean, we're talking like an hour difference, getting my son to daycare, back to work, all the things, right? But it was a job requirement. It wasn't an option. So I figured out a way to make it happen. And I know some people are, I love like tangible tips to do that, but sometimes that's what's missing. If you're doing the invites and you're following up, but you just want Success Club, you just think it would be cool, or you just, I don't know, you're not viewing it as a job requirement, that could be the difference. So I encourage you to dive into PD and to view it as like you have to think of it as a job requirement. I heard on somebody else's team call it, I'm going to use this forever, that the vitals are called vitals for a reason. If you go to the emergency room, they'll check your vitals, right? Like if you were like in a car accident, okay, if you don't have any vitals, like you're dead. Yeah, it's like morbid, sorry, but like you're dead, right? But it's the same thing in your business. If you don't do your vitals, your business is dead. Like, I mean, there's no way around that. And if you can't have some vitals and not the other and have a full-fledged business. Just like you can't have some life signs and not others and be alive. Like, you know what I mean? Like if your brain isn't working, like you're not, like if you're brain dead, it's still in there dead, if your heart stops. Okay, you get it. So if you're not doing one of the vitals, and they changed a little bit, so now it's connect, invite, follow up. If one of those is missing, then your business might really have a big hole. So those are that's kind of like my little pep talk about Success Club and why showing up now and getting that oomph at the beginning of the year is everything, but you have to be building the momentum now behind the scenes. And a tip, and I want to open it up for questions because I think that's how people learn best, but a tip is to do, maybe you guys have seen like other coaches do them, is like, I call them FOMO boards. So saying like, talking about those things that I said about like talking about your New Year's boot camp, and saying like you have 20 spots, and give yourself a bigger number. Like, don't be like, I'm never going to find 20 people. Like, well, you're just setting yourself up to like have less success. Like, set yourself up for success. So I'm opening it up for 20 people. I mean, don't say like 100, like you want to create the FOMO anyways. And then as people sign up, you put their name in a slot. And for the first one, like, it's okay if you use like Megan, or you use your success partner, like, and you just want to have, and someone that's doing Transform 20 or whatever. Like, I tell my coaches, like, you can put my name for the first one. Like, no one's going to like go to your followers list and be like, how many Rachels are following, Casey. One of my coaches was talking to me about this today. No one's going to worry about that. But it just starts creating that FOMO. And as people sign up, they think it's cool to have their name up there. Some other coaches like actually tag their Instagram handle, like whatever works for you. But usually it's like a picture, like, I don't know. It can be whatever you want. Just having it numbered 1 through 10, 1 through 20, whatever, and filling it in as people go. Like, those FOMO boards really, really work. So I'm definitely going to do one for the new year, and that's like a fun tip. But I want to answer your guys' questions for sure.
Okay, I have a question. So let's say you have coaches who are posting and who are like sending out the invites and stuff, but they like, I just kind of feel like some of them are struggling, like their wheels are going, but like nothing is happening, if that makes sense. And I know that you had mentioned, 3 to 6 months consistency and stuff. Do you have any like tips or anything like to try to, I don't know, like just to tweak it a little bit, or something? Like, if I'm consistently posting like 1 to 2 times a day, you know, sending out invites and just kind of like not getting much. I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Yeah, so what I would do is do a memory jogger list and use your Facebook friends list and your Instagram followers. But really, so if you're a newer coach, like you're gonna need to like balls up and go to your warm market 100%, because those are the people that already know, like, and trust you. Like your cold market doesn't know who you are yet. I mean, they might know who you are, but they don't, it takes time. It takes that 3 to 6 months to know, like, and trust somebody. So your warm market, like, already has that box checked for you. And this is prime time to, like, be talking to them. Like, this is when, like, talk about who wants to go to the gym. Like, I remember when I was an avid gym goer and I hated the new year because I knew I was going to have to fight for the machines I wanted. And then I knew by like February it would die down. So, but anyways, so you can like talk about that with your friends and your family. And I know a lot of times people are just really nervous to talk to their friends and family, and coworkers. But honestly, like, just don't make it weird. Like, just share your passion with them. Like, hey, Chelsea, I'm super nervous to reach out to you. Just be honest. You can say, I'm super nervous to reach out to you, but I am starting a boot camp for the new year. Like, no gym, nobody's got time for the gym, something, meal plans, all the fun things. Like, would you want to do it with me? Like, just don't make it weird. Just make it super casual. And if an invite isn't working for you, like, change your wording. Like, use people's responses sort of as feedback. So, for example, right now I sent out, P.S. this is something else you can do. I've been sending out the free workout for Transform 20 like nobody's business. Like, so my coaches are like, I send it to 10 people. I'm like, 10x that. I send it to 200 people. And then I've been following up with them and they're like, yeah, I loved it. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, hey, do you want to do the full program with us? And at first I was saying, do you want to do the test group with us? And that I didn't realize that's coach jargon. They're like, what is that? And so then I was like, oh, it's doing the full program. And they're like, oh, and I have people interested. So because people were confused by something I said, I then used that as feedback and changed my wordings. Now people are like, oh, do I want to do the full program? And yeah, so that's kind of one. You should totally leverage the free workout. Like, just reach out to people. Like, you can do a post. Like, you can go to my Facebook page, my personal page. It's public. Don't add me as your friend because I won't add you if you're a coach because I'm like almost maxed. But you can see it, and it just says like, if you want to try the free workout, like, just drop an emoji. And so a lot of people are interested. It's a try before you buy type of thing. And getting people, it's just, again, it's going back to that adding value. But tackling your warm market is huge. And when I would get stuck, I would always go back to my warm market because those people already have a relationship with you.
Yeah, I love that. We have like an informational group on Facebook, and so I put the link in there, and so I told everyone they had to like click that to go in there just to like help tracking purposes and stuff. But like on Instagram and stuff, I'll just send them the workout and then track their name or whatever. So I like that idea, especially for newer coaches. It's super nice to be like, we have a program starting. Here's a free workout for you. Like, if you love it, join us. If you don't, like, it's just nice to be able to give that to them because I feel like everybody wants free and everybody wants to try it before like it actually kicks off. So I love that. You guys have any questions? Anyone have any, like, anything? Pick your brain. Don't be shy. We have a lot of newer coaches too, which is good. Nobody?
Like, any questions. It doesn't matter if it's about this or not.
Where's Karina at? She'll ask a question.
So, like,
Oh,
what? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What's like your best like advice for someone that is like brand new? Like I like am like super brand new and like haven't like done anything yet. So like best place to start, I guess.
Is just to start. Get your business activity tracker, and that is not like just pretty. It's that business activity tracker is what all the top coaches, what Megan's holding, that's what all the top coaches are doing. Like that's what every successful coach does. It's not like we're not doing anything like special and magical with unicorns or anything. We're just doing that consistently over time. So my best advice is just to jump in and start, and don't be distracted by time wasters. Like don't get sucked into watching people's Instagram stories and stuff that's not going to move your business forward.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was going to, I just shared the link in the chat. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the link to my like activity tracker, if that helps. But one thing that I was talking with another coach about is, and I did this weekend and I yelled at myself for it, is you just get lost like watching a bunch of other coaches, and then you think to yourself like, oh my God, I should do this. Oh my God, I should do that. Oh my gosh, I should do this. Like, and you're just all over the place. Instead, like, I feel like I love my followers and people who watch my stories because like they're really committed to watching mine. Cause I don't watch anybody's stories. Like I don't have time. Like I just can't do it. Otherwise, like my brain. So like, honestly, just putting your head down and like creating your own journey and stuff, kind of like what Rachel said. So yeah.
Yeah. That's like when my business was like hit I'm still at a peak, but when my business exploded this year is because it was when I was watching this many coaches, other stories, because I legitimately had no time. Every minute needed to go to messages, outgoing messages and follow-ups and income producing activities, and watching stories is not an income producing activity. Oh, I see a really good question in the chat. Okay, advice when you get ghosted. How do you follow up with them? One, I continue to follow up with them. And because there's like a crazy statistic. Hold on, I'm going to find it to finish this while I say this. But it's on my Facebook. It's crazy. But then this is my favorite thing to do. And it's totally takes balls. So just do it. But I like to like tease them on my Instagram story. But I make it like fun. Okay, so I'm like, I just followed up with a ton of girls who have said they were interested in joining my virtual boot camp. And now I'm like, hello, where are you? Can't find you. You ghosted me. But I'm just want to let you know, like, girl, even though you're not there for yourself yet, I'm there for you. And so then people like come out of the woodwork and they're like, I wasn't ignoring you. I'm like, yeah, you were. See that scene button or like tag at the bottom? Like, you're totally ignoring me. And they're like, and then they tell you what their hang up is. And then we can talk about it. And then I tell them like, and I should talk about this more in my stories. Like, I'm like, I'm not a mind reader. How would I have known that if you wouldn't just have communicated that with me? And so I want them to know that. I'm glad you think that's funny. That's why I want my followers to think that's funny, because then they're like, oh yeah, it's rude to ghost people. And I do things like, I do other posts like that and stuff, like where I'm like, like I'm invested. When you tell me your goals, babe, and like, you're ready to make a change, like I'm all in. And then I'm like, where'd you go? Like that hurts my feelings. Like, not because I'm like invested in the sale, but because it takes emotion that you're pouring out to people. So sharing that on your Instagram stories, and it gets more, if you make it silly, like people will, just make it lighthearted, and it's actually therapeutic. Like I said, people come out of the woodwork. And I like the suggestion, like, I hope I wasn't bugging you or didn't offend you. And there's one, Ashley Molstead uses something like this. One of my coaches just shared this with me today. Like, she says something like, I wasn't sure if you saw my last message. I know Instagram messaging can be a little wacko sometimes, something like that, which it can be. Messages get lost all the time. But let me tell you this statistic about following up, because I know it sucks when people are ignoring you. Oh my God, that's so funny. I posted something that I meant to post in my virtual gym in the wrong group. Oh my God. Oh, here it goes. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% on the third. 10% are made on the fourth contact. Afraid to follow up? Think you're annoying people because you're sending someone an invite month after month after they've been ghosting you? Guess what? 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. The sad part is only 10% of people follow up more than 3 times. Guess who's part of that 10%? Me. So they know, like, and other people, like, if they tell me to stop following up with them, I will, of course. But I am vocal on my Instagram stories, like, about why I'm following up with them. Best tip to make the jump from emerald to diamond when you've been consistent AF. That I highly recommend. Karina, do you sign people up as discount coaches, like, right out of the gate? Okay, so I just feel like it's a natural cadence in your business. So I would up your Success Club non-negotiable. And when I say non-negotiable, like, would you sign up your brother-in-law or whatever, your cousin, if it came down to it to reach that non-negotiable? I've had to do that, and I don't regret it at all. You know, like, so up your non-negotiable, and then it will be a natural cadence in your business. And have those controlled business centers. Like, I was self-made diamond because I was just like, it is time. So I made my mom emerald and my husband emerald. Again, don't regret it. They're actually both diamonds on my team now, which is a huge reason I'm 6-star in my first business center, and one of them is my husband, one's my mom, one's my second business center, and one's my third business center. So 4 out of my 6 are me. But who cares? You know, like, it just built holy volume, let me tell you. So I say just make that your non-negotiable job requirement. Suggested amount of people that you should try to message every day to not get overwhelmed at first. So feeling of overwhelm is normal, but you do have to push past it. Like, you can't sit there and be like, I'm overwhelmed, and be paralyzed and, like, not do anything. So I say, like, starting with 5, but doing 5 every day. And that's where the memory jogger is a game changer. So if you make a list of 100 and you start messaging people, and, like, you guys, an initial invite can be copy paste. And I guarantee, like, you will start to get more confident and you'll do more than 5. Advice when you're transitioning from your super warm market to your cold market. It's just important to be growing your market and whatever that looks like for you, and your Instagram or your Facebook, whatever. And then to have people follow you back, like, make sure you're adding value, and make sure you're looking for people that look, act, think like you. So off pages that you like, and people who look like you. Like, it's okay to be a little superficial in that. Like, do they aesthetically look like you? Do they, you know, like, have in their little avatar, like, you can tell a little bit. So just using that way, but make sure you're having value on your page, and you are being you and not just sharing fitness. You are not a Beachbody employee. You are affiliated with Beachbody. You are your own company. So fitness is not the only part of your life. People honestly don't even like, I wish my followers liked when I post about fitness as much as Megan's do. Like, if I post a picture about, like, working out, my following is like, who cares? We already know you work out. They like when I post pictures about, like, my fridge for meal prep. They like when I post a picture of my outfit. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get, like, cute today. They like when I post pictures about other things. They honestly could give a shit when I post about fitness, which is important to talk about, but it's not the only thing. You will not see a ton of that on and when I do, it's usually a before and after picture, because that's what they want to see. So just testing out, like, what your following likes to see. And you guys, a lot of this is, like, trial and error for sure. And just, like I said, learning from use everything as feedback. That's a game changer. And just being open to that. Those are the questions in the chat.
Awesome. I love it. Oh, there's one more. Sorry.
Best advice to give your pages the most value. So again, it just kind of depends on your following, but think like, what do you like to read about from other people? Like, I really love seeing other people's cute outfits, but then adding value, like me just sharing my cute outfit, not adding value, you know, but if I share like where I found a sweet deal, that's adding value. And like, I love to save money. So thinking, sometimes it's kind of hard to think like how your following thinks, but that's the beauty of Instagram stories too, is you can kind of ask them. You can do polls like, do you want to see more or less of this topic? And do a poll, more or less, more of this topic, more or less. You got to be ready for that. That is hardcore feedback. You just got to be ready for that. And then, like right now I'm like giving a lot of tips. So like I just did like 5 tips with meal prep. And I'm trying to think, like when my social media was at its height, it's because I was being real and raw and authentic with my journey as a new mom. And I was adding value because one, I was sharing my favorite products, and I was sharing the struggle with a solution. So be real and share your struggles, but always be solution oriented. And then you can always ask for engagement. Like, so I really struggled with postpartum anxiety, and you don't want to, there's a fine line between being like a Debbie Downer and being relatable. So I would share about my postpartum anxiety, but I would also share about what I was doing about it. Like I wasn't just sitting in my bed and like crying all day. I was like, this is what I'm doing, you know, like my workouts, my accountability groups, or my community, and meditating. And I wasn't making everything about Beachbody. I was like, you know, meditating was a game changer, like drinking more water, that sort of stuff to like help with that. So I was always like solution oriented. So don't be afraid to share your struggles. Just share your solutions as you come to them.
Yeah, I think too, when I first started, I just was like looking for anyone and everyone. And then when I finally realized that like to be successful, I wanted to start looking, like you said, for your avatar and stuff. And so like when we go on team calls, it's so crazy to like look at the screen and be like, yep. Like, you know, you just like find the people that you want to hang out with or be best friends with, kind of thing. And those are the people who like stick with you the longest, if that makes sense. Like those who get your crazy weirdness and stuff. But yeah, no, I totally understand that. And I love those. Does anyone else have any other questions or anything? Anybody?
And don't be afraid to like be you, and don't be worried about losing followers by being you, because your people want you to be you. Like, and if you're not being authentically you, you're going to end up attracting people who aren't really the people you want to work with. And I totally did that for a while. And I was just listening to somebody did a pop-up call for my business builders, and Sammy Glonek, and she was like, I was for a while, like, I love this, it's all sunshine and roses and la la la. And she was like, then I attracted a lot of people like that. And she's like, that's great, they're wonderful people, but I'm not like that. So it was really hard to relate to them, and I'm very much like that. And I have people like that on my team, and I can't, we butt heads because we don't have the same work ethic. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not, like, the people on my team who are like me, they're my rock solid diamonds who show up every day and, you know, who are like, they're grinding how I grind. So then we can talk about that. Whereas other people who are maybe a little more lackadaisical than me, we just don't have the same work structure. So it's harder to talk about it. It's not impossible, but we're always saying, like, you want to attract your tribe because you will work efficiently with your tribe. So don't be afraid to be yourself, even if you're gonna lose followers. And Sammy gave this example too, like she has an elite coach on her team, personally sponsored coach. And she's like, it's crazy. And she unfollowed Sammy a couple of times, but she always came back. And so it's okay if people unfollow you, like it's totally okay. And Sammy went on a rant on her Instagram the other day, like she did a hilarious trip to Target, and she was like, I lost 100 followers, but it was so her that she was like, who cares, like, bye, those 100 people were never going to join me anyways. So just be you, because it's like kind of whatever, but quality over quantity for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think one thing that is just like what you said is just really hitting home is like when people are like, where do I start? And you're like, just start, just go. And so like I changed our coaching, like startup or training. I just did like a 7-day thing where they're just quick videos just to help them like understand, coaching and stuff in general, like the back office, all that stuff. But then it's just like, here's a posting calendar, just go post, just go invite, just go start. Like there's really like, it's crazy because I feel like people are always waiting to hear like, so what's like the secret step to start, and it's like, just post.
Right. Just starting.
That's literally what we do every single day is post and message. And like Karina mentioned before, like she's been pushing and been super consistent and stuff. And I think it's gonna pay off for her, obviously, and stuff. And for the other girls too, like Ashley and Jen have been pushing, their leaders on our team. They are like super consistent. And like, I feel like sometimes they feel like their wheels are spinning, but at the same time, I think, like you said too, like 3 to 6 months of consistency. And I always think about like a 6-pack. Like if you want a 6-pack, like you're not going to get it, in 30 days. It's going to take a little bit longer and stuff too. So just think about your business being consistent and like creating an income as a 6-pack kind of thing.
Yeah. And everything in the business can always be related to our client's journey, like our fitness journey. Like the hardest part is just starting. Like there's no secret start, like it's just printing out your meal plan and pushing play. And it's, yeah, like you said, your 6-pack isn't going to come next week. And it's definitely not going to come if you only show up for 2 workouts. And it's the same thing in your business. If you're just showing up when it's convenient, that's not consistency. You have to show up, especially when it's hard, to really see what your business can do.
Yeah, I love that. All right. You guys have any other questions or anything? Everybody? Nobody? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. Like, I know it's a Sunday night and you're
no problem.
We're tired and stuff. But we just wanted to hear from you just because of the fact that like I do feel like we have a lot of newer coaches on our call, but I do feel also that we have a lot of leaders on our team as well who show up and consistently do those things. And I think just little tweaks here and there can really, transform and change their business and stuff too. So thank you so much for hopping on.
Anytime, babe.
I'm gonna chat with you girls really quick and then I will let everyone else go. Bye, Rach. Okay, so let me put the talk down. All right.